to report from the game pit from day one of Airecon 2018. My name's Ronan.
And I'm Sean. You probably haven't seen our faces before, which is probably for the better, but here we are. Hello.
So, this is the morning of day two, but we're going to tell you about a few things we did on a shortened day one yesterday. We got here to Harrogate International Centre. We can see it out the window. We're very close to it. Good hotel booking.
Yeah, well, apart from the
two single beds on top of each other.
Two beds side by side.
And two cousins got a lot closer last night. Okay, but anyway, what we got here, we haven't been to Airecon before, so we had a look around. There's lots of open gaming, loads of table set up.
Yeah, really nice convention centre.
Yep.
Really impressed with it. Lots of amenities. So today we're going to see the trade halls opening up, so we'll probably spend too much money.
Probably, it's more than likely, yeah. So none of the vendors were open yesterday, or the exhibitors. There were a few demo tables running. Paul Grogan was doing CGE. Bez was there showing off old and new Yogi in a bind as it used to be. Yeah. Wibble Plus Plus and some other games he's working on.
Dickinson tables were there with their VIP area showing off their tables.
They were indeed. We
stroked them as we tend to do.
A bit better than this one. And we actually, there's the bring and buy as well. That's the last thing we did. And Sean was talked into a purchase.
I was talked in. I was bullied into it. So I'm doing the 10 by 10 for Orléans, and one of the reasons I'm doing the 10 by 10 is to justify buying expansion. So with one play into my 10 by 10, of course.
Never a man to not knowingly spend money on a game.
This is the one where you turn it into a co-op, and there's a couple of mini expansions in there as well. It's
got solo mode when you got
solo mode.
Day at work.
Yeah.
It'll be quite a long day at work.
So that's how I'm justifying it to Natalie. So.
Okay. So I guess we're going to hear about that later on at some point in the podcast. We did play a handful of games, but not many. First thing we played was Pandemic Rising Tide, which we're going to review properly on the podcast. It was my 6th play, your first play. It's the pandemic where there's floods happening in the Netherlands, and it's your job to push the water back, build dikes, and very much plan, because you can see what's coming. There's 2 cards for every region, and there's certain regions you're going to get hit harder, and because they can spread very easily to each other, it's much more about identifying problem areas and getting there and dealing with it. But every time you have a storm comes out, which is the equivalent of an epidemic, a new area becomes a problem area. And just one area bursting 3 times can just spread because the water flows out from there. And you can be in big trouble very quickly.
Yeah, you were pressing me to play this one for quite a while.
Well, we have to review it.
I've been deftly avoiding it. Not the biggest pandemic fan, so yeah, it was a different take on it for sure. It felt, even from the outset, a lot more, I think I said it at the time, more foreboding and sort of a kind of a little bit grimmer than pandemic.
Yeah, and pun intended, it feels drier. It does, and I know it's from the Splotter guys, from your own. You can definitely feel that influence in there. I think we're going to save all of our thoughts for the full proper review. You are less of a fan than I am.
I think so.
Would you even play it again?
If someone said, I really want to try this, I would, but that's the same with pandemic.
If I held it in my hand and held a pint of beer in my hand yesterday, would it talk you into it? So, mixed thoughts on Pandemic Rising Tide. The next one was...
What was it, Ronan?
It was Exploriana, Sean.
Exploriana, that's right. We have our own prototype copy coming through to actually review, because there's a Kickstarter coming in April, I believe.
So, yeah.
But Chris Marley, who we do tend to meet at these things, we're trying to avoid him, but you know what, he pops up. We've got to be polite. So he had a copy of Exploriana, and it's essentially it's a game about all exploring and pushing your luck through a jungle, and it's bidding involved as well.
There's bidding for equipment, the set collection,
and yeah, it was. We had a discussion about Exploriana afterwards, didn't we? Whether it was, Chris felt it was a family game.
Yeah.
You felt it was an introductory game.
I got all excited about some
yeah. And I felt like it was a gateway game.
Oh, well. So, Chris kept on saying, what I said to Chris was, he kept on telling people it was a family weight game. It's a family weight, and I feel that puts people off.
Yeah, I agreed with that. I wasn't sure about introductory. I thought gateway. Well,
was I talking rubbish at this?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
You were well into the cup, so
okay, you didn't get any better. I felt like it was too much for really small kids, and I'm not saying that as negative against the game. There's a proper game there. You're making real decisions. You're risking Yeah, it's not just a push your luck, oh, it's a roll of dice and all that. It's actually judging the risk. You can buy some of that equipment in the auctions to mitigate some of the issues. We end up, the three of us, going down different paths. Pun not intended that time.
There's a lot of gamely elements there. You've got
Yeah.
you've got obviously got the push your luck, which obviously can be quite easy for the children to master. But you've got the auctions,
Yeah.
you've got the set collection,
There's some more planning
you've
ahead.
got the special powers
Yeah.
that you have to implement at the right time. So a lot more going on than probably for a family weight game.
And verdict on it? First play?
First play, I enjoyed it. I'm looking to see now if it's got that sort of lifespan to it, but definitely Exploriana is one to keep your eyes open.
Chaos Publishing that's coming. Yeah, it was a very good first impression. I did enjoy it. And the final game we played, although we did something else afterwards, was Mini Rails, which is from my ideas. We played a few of the games. We just reviewed Tulip Bubble, but this was one that had passed us by. It's a game in which on each turn you're going to be taking stock in one company and you're laying track on a company, and they're discs of a certain colour. And there's one more disc than, no, there's not. There's one more disc than twice the number of players laid out. There's always one disc left at the end of 6 rounds. And unless a disc of that colour is left behind, it can't score positive points. Right. So as people take it and people expand the network, something has to be left behind, otherwise it's not going to score for anyone. But if someone has a couple of, say, 2 blues, people are all going to try and hoover up the blues because they don't want that person to get too powerful in it. But if none get left behind, it's not going to score anyway. And it can be very mean because as you place your track,
it is super mean. But I thought
it's because the bases go up and down in price at the start.
The prices go up and down. When you're extending your rails, you've got plus areas which are little white circles, so you can go up 2, 3, 1. But you can also go down by that amount as well. So and there's a lot of red areas.
And there's no defending it. That's what I found. Like if say I was invested in a white stock and I started trying to go through and there was a 3 negative, 3 negative, 1 negative, and I took the 1 negative route trying to get to a better area, people can still come back and take the 3 negatives because you spread out from any, as long as you're adjacent to a white when you're laying the rail.
Yeah, you can't really. It's hard to sort of get yourself on a path.
Yeah. People decide they're going to screw you. They're going to screw you.
I like the meanness. I thought it was almost comedy meanness. It was funny. Come on, how funny was it when Chris was pushing up Blue and the last go of the game? Because obviously Blue has to go down, pay their taxes, and be that last one left. I took the last Blue, put it in the middle, which is a +5 for Blue. So Chris's Blues went up, but no, the score.
It was, for me, the problem came at the very end. There was 5 players playing the game. And of the 25 stock that between us we'd taken, we played it truncated by a round because of what we went to next, which Sean's going to talk about. But of the 25 stocks that we took, only 2 scored. We got 2 1-point scores, and then Sean won a tiebreak because the only third stock left in the game was worth 0, which was more than the not having a stock because they hadn't paid their taxes of anyone else.
Oh, well, it's obviously a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the process.
Loads of fun. Yeah,
I enjoyed the process. Not sure about the end game scores, but I did enjoy the process.
We played it with Ben O'Steen, who's very active on Twitter, you might know him there, and he said that once people have played it once or twice, they stop being completely mean and they start constructing almost companies together and going, right, we're going to work together on yellow, we'll work together on red. It becomes much more of a negotiation and alliance game. So I'm happy to play it again this weekend and see how far we progress along there.
Very good.
But the process was fun.
Yeah, right. No, it was absolutely. And last up, we very well into our pints of pills.
It's a late video this morning.
We did the quiz, the Airecon quiz, which started at 8:30, went through quite late. It's about 10:30. It was a lot of fun. There was a few rounds where we were a little bit like to spot the difference. I don't like to spot the difference anyway. And having to do it on a tiny screen.
Yeah, it was a big old hall. And the screen was way down there far in from where we were.
But we did all right. We got 4th out of 16 teams.
14. But
14.
It was almost good remembering.
Almost good.
So we did okay. There were lots of board game related questions, but some of them were like, is this a real opoly, bunnyopoly, beagleopoly, wineopoly? And you kind of go, and it's yes or no, 50-50 on that sort of thing. But we were all having a laugh, and we met Fiona and Amy. They joined our team. There was a bunch of lobsters, and they were fantastic and clearly carried us through into 4th played. So thank you for that. It felt social. It felt like a nice way to start the first night at the con.
Yeah,
People were doing something different because
interacting with the other teams as well, passing things around and marking each other's papers.
People were laughing at each other.
People, when the pizza came, I hated everyone on that table.
They clearly should have won for being the smartest. So I think it was a really nice way to start the first day of the con and be relaxed. I feel like today, tomorrow, I want to get more games played.
What do you want to play today, Ronan? What's your game?
Two games I've got today that I really want to play. No, three.
Oh.
Definitely three, right? Lords of Hellas, which Sean has brought, which we're looking to review whether it can be in the next couple of weeks. It will be at some point we're going to review it. My copy, I chose Wave 2 shipping. I don't know what happened. So I haven't got one yet. So I want to play Lords of Hellas. I've taken 878 Vikings, which I've played a couple of times already. I want to play it with Sean. And I wanted to try Rising Sun because you hear so many different things. We had wildly different opinions of Blood Rage, although I know it's not that much like Blood Rage, but I want to try it out for myself and see.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely interested in trying Rising Sun.
And what else?
And Orleans.
Okay.
That's probably my target. I might try and creep in a bit of Ethnos as well.
Easy peasy.
I've got that in my bag. So
I've put Parlay in my bag.
Parlay.
The pirate game I was going to about last lesson. I love. Yeah. So
No,
6 people abusing each other.
And we might get a bit of betrayal.
Depends how much we drink. We were going to try and play Betrayal at Baldur's Gate after the quiz last night. People were a little bit worse for wear, and we heard that the hall was closing at 11, but I don't think it did close at 11. I think just like the bar shut down and stuff like that. So we might have missed a couple of hours game and we got some sleep.
We were hungry.
So that's the plan for today. We're going to report back tomorrow morning and let you know how it's all gone from Airecon.
Thank you.